All right, welcome to the second Wakefield Youth Council meeting. It is June 10th, 2020, and it is 4 o'clock. I'm calling this meeting to order at 4 p.m. So the first item on our agenda today is introduction and welcome of new members. So I actually have a roll call list that Steve Mayo in the Selectman's office provided me with. So I'm going to go through that and say your name, and you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself and what grade you're in. So just to remind everyone, especially our middle school members that are new to this meeting, and Jack, you're also new. We keep everything mute. So if you've got a dog barking or your neighbor's mowing the lawn, we don't hear that, and then unmute yourself when you are called upon to speak. And you can also use the raising hand feature and also the chat feature if anyone needs to use that. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Okay, so for our introductions, I'm going to go through just in order in which your applications came in. So that's kind of how you were appointed, either a voting or non-voting member. So Alex, can you introduce yourself?
Alex Kelton, I'm a junior.
All right. Alyssa.
Alyssa Toppy, also a junior.
Lauren.
Lauren Blaisdell, sophomore.
Lauren's a sophomore, in case you didn't hear that. Megan.
I'm Megan Cohen, and I'm a sophomore.
All right, Megan, glad you can make it back from driver's ed in time. All right, Nicholas.
I'm Nick Polari, and I'm a sophomore.
Summer.
I'm Summer Milski, and I'm a freshman.
Uma.
I'm Uma Gerwick, and I'm a sophomore.
Yana.
I'm Yana Herzog, and I'm a sophomore.
Okay, and we have Jack joining us today. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Jack DeVoe. I am a rising senior at St. John's Prep.
Okay, great. And Jack actually was one of the first applicants that came in for the Youth Council, and his application was misplaced. So they actually just found it, and he got appointed by the town council on Monday evening. And then we also have Anthony. Where's Anthony?
Hi, I'm Anthony. I'm a junior.
All right. And Emanuela.
Hello, I'm Emanuela DeRiso, and I'm a sophomore.
All right. And we have our middle school members joining us this week. We're so excited to have you. So I'm going to start with Maddie.
I'm Maggie Fournier, and I am in 7th grade.
So you're Maggie.
Yes.
Okay, we have it down as Madeline, but you're Maggie.
Yes, my name is Madeline, but my nickname is Maggie.
Okay, so you go by Maggie. Thank you. And Jenna.
My name's Jenna Farber, and I'm 6th grade.
Okay, that's Jenna Farber, and she's in 6th grade, in case you're on a little bit of a delay, Jenna. William.
I'm William Mesakowski, and I am in the 8th grade.
Great. Amelia.
Hi, I'm Amelia Fountas, and I'm in 7th grade.
Ollie.
Hi, I'm Ali Atwi, and I'm in the 7th grade.
Okay, and finally, Thomas.
Hi, I'm Thomas Baronato, and I'm in 7th grade.
Great. So welcome, everyone. We're so glad to have the full council here. I think we have perfect attendance today of everyone for the second Wakefield Youth Council, but this is the first Wakefield Youth Council with all of you on board. And I'm excited because this is going to be my last meeting kind of running things. Soon in a little bit, we'll have elections for the chair and vice chair and secretary. So we can proceed with that and have one of you take over facilitating these meetings. So we have a busy agenda. So we want to make sure that we get through everything. Going forward, the minutes are going to be taken by the secretary. And just to let you know that we have, these meetings are recorded. So if you're thinking about becoming secretary, they are recorded, so you can go back and watch them and type up the minutes because that's an important piece. So we'll approve those minutes, and those did not go out yet because there was something that I needed to get approved by. So we're going to take a hold on those minutes. So those are not for this meeting, although the meeting is public record, which we'll learn about later from Alex, but we do not have minutes to approve from our first meeting. But I know all of the middle school members, I sent you a link to view that first meeting. So hopefully you had a chance to do that. Okay, so I'm going to move down to the next agenda item, which is opening this for public comments. So sometimes at our meetings, we might have someone from the public, hopefully youth, that want to bring something forward to the youth council. So if you ever, this is a time where in the agenda, if you have friends or acquaintances that bring up something to you that they want to be addressed by the town and they'd like to be bring it forward to the youth council, you can say, oh, you can come to the youth council meeting. Hopefully we'll be in person, but while we're doing it online, this is when someone from the public can approach you as the youth council and bring up anything that they would like to comment on. So if we know about it ahead of time, we can put it on the agenda, but that's the public comment piece. Does anyone have anything to say about that? Okay, so the next item is the overview of youth council operating procedures, rules, responsibilities, and voting versus non-voting members. So we went over this last week with our high school members. And I sent everyone the documentation around that. Does anyone have any questions about the operating procedures? So we're gonna, over the next few weeks, we're gonna learn a little bit more about how the youth council will function. So I'm gonna ask different members of the youth council to do presentations on different things. So for example, today we have Alex is gonna do a presentation on open meeting and public meetings. So to kind of give you guys an overview of what public meetings are and what you can do and what you can't do and what are some of the rules, because you soon will be sworn in. So these are public meetings and they're being recorded and they're can be viewed by anyone on online. So if you ever want to go and show a teacher or show anyone what you're doing with the youth council, you can even send them a link or say, hey grandma, I'm part of the youth council, here's a link, and you can see what I'm up to. So that's something that we're gonna do. So the next meeting, it'd be great if we could have someone do a presentation around the Robert's Rules of Order, how to proceed with votes and how to run a meeting using Robert's Rules of Order. So maybe I'm gonna have our chair or our vice chair do that. So let's hold off. And then the voting and the non-voting members. This was something that I know a lot of people had questions about when I was doing the one-on-one conversations. Oh, how come I'm a voting member? How come I'm a non-voting member? There was no, the only reason you're one member or the other is based on when your application came in. So the first applications, that's why Jack's actually a voting member, because she found the date stamp of when his was emailed in. So the voting members are for the high school, Alex, Alyssa, Lauren, Megan, Nick, Summer, Uma, Yana, and Jack. And Anthony and Emanuela are non-voting members. So that's just for something for a vote. And then for the middle school, Maggie, Jenna, and William are the voting members, and Amelia, Ollie, and Thomas aren't. So for everyone, except for Anthony, which is challenging because I feel for Anthony. I wish there was a way we could have changed this. Everyone that's a non-voting member, except for Anthony, will have a chance to become a voting member next year when we kind of restructure things, okay? So that's only for votes. You can communicate, you can be part of the discussions, but when we get to a formal vote, I'll just call for the vote of the voting members. And this was something that our town council decided they really want to make sure was part of the process. So I'll do a vote via roll call. So I'll call your name and you can say yes or no. Okay, is that correct, Alex? Is that how I do it? Or Jack, I know you guys are a part of. Okay, all right. So we'll be doing roll call votes. And remember, I'm learning a lot of this alongside all of you. So does anyone have any questions or comments before we move to the next agenda item? All right. Great. All right. So our next agenda item is nomination and appointment of chair, vice chair, and secretary. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask for any nominations for youth council chair, and then we're going to get the nominations, and then we're going to do roll call votes. Same thing with the vice chair and secretary. So and then we can have a discussion, because I realize you all don't know each other very well, so voting might seem kind of arbitrary since you don't know one another. So I don't, this is kind of what we have to do. And I have full confidence in any one of you to do any of these jobs. So we'll move forward. So do we have a motion for nominations for the chair of the Wakefield Youth Council? Does anyone nominate anyone?
I'd like to nominate Alyssa.
All right, so Lauren is nominating Alyssa Toppy for chair. Can anyone second that for me? Any of my voting members?
Seconded.
All right, Alex seconded it. All right.
I second it.
Okay, great. Another second. Alyssa, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Yes, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Alyssa. All right. Are there any other nominations for chair of the youth council?
I nominate Alex.
Okay, Megan nominates Alex. All right, do I have a second?
I second.
Seconded.
All right,
second it.
thank you. Nick seconds. All right, I can't wait for one of you to take over as secretary. All right, and are there any other nominations? Oh, wait. Alex, do you accept?
I do.
All right. And are there any other nominations for chair of?
I nominate Jack.
All right, Yana nominates Jack. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
We have a second, okay. All right, Jack, do you accept?
Yes.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Okay, I declare nominations closed. Is there any other discussion around this? Does anyone want to speak? All right, Jack, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, hey everyone. So I know I don't go to Wakefield High School, but I have lived in Wakefield for most of my life, and I went to Wakefield Public School until 6th grade. But I really want to be the chair of youth council because I have a lot of experience with youth organizing. I've actually been working in like young people organizing since like 2016. I worked on the Hillary Clinton campaign. In 2016, I worked in New Hampshire. And then in 2018, I was an intern on a state senate campaign. And I also worked on a state rep campaign once our state senate campaign was over. And this year I worked on the Elizabeth Warren campaign. I was a fellow. I mainly worked with organizing young people in the 3rd and 6th congressional districts, which is the North Shore and Merrimack Valley. And now I am also right now working, I co-founded Students for Markey, where young people are organizing to re-elect Senator Markey to the Senate. So I have lots of experience in organizing young people and getting young people's voices heard and making sure that we all have a place in the political system, in our political system. And I believe that right now, at the beginning of a youth council, is important that there's someone with experience and someone who is ready to lead. And I also worked in the High School Democrats of America. I'm the North Shore Regional Coordinator for Massachusetts. So I am very familiar with how our school system functions and how Massachusetts state law affects all of us. I'm also, I am fluent in parliamentary procedure because I am doing Model UN, which is super similar to Robert's Rules. So I already have a lot of experience with order, debate, and motions. So I think I am the one person ready to lead and get the council going and making sure that we can make history at Wakefield. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jack. All right. Any other discussion? All right.
Were we planning on doing like making cases now, or was the plan for that to be later?
That's now, because this is right before the vote. So you can say, you can also communicate why you think you'd be a good member. Alex or Alyssa, would you like to speak? Or anyone want to speak for someone else?
I'll go. Obviously, like, I don't have the extensive experience that Jack does, and that's like wicked impressive. But I personally think that I would be a good chair because personally I love like making sure everybody's opinion gets heard, and like all the organization and stuff like that, like procedural things. I just want to make sure that everybody has a voice, voting or non-voting member.
Great, thank you, Alyssa. All right.
I haven't done so much on the politics sides of things, but I think I have more applicable background in the form of Student Advisory Council for Massachusetts, where I actually had a very similar role to secretary, which is communications coordinator, or to keep notes and whatnot. And in that, it's a very similar format to this, where members are chosen in the same way. I think just in general, I've spent the last year with them, and I plan on running for chair for them next year as well. I've been having to hold off on that due to the current issues. I think that my experience applies and that I'll have more familiarity with the general situation of how meetings are run.
Okay. All right. So any other comments? Anyone can comment on their thoughts. All right. So I will do a roll call for each person. We'll start with the order of which nominations came in, so you can vote for one person. So I will say the person's name, and then I will do roll call for the voting members, and you can say yes or no. So remember, you're only voting for one person, okay? So I will start, and I know this is really feels a little strange because you don't know people and you don't want to, and I kind of feel this way too. You don't want anyone's feelings to get hurt, but this is just a procedural thing. We'll learn from it. And it's really just to have someone help us run our meetings. And then we have vice chair next and secretary. So we can get through this. So we're going to put Alyssa Toppy up first. So I am going to go through the roll call and ask you for a yes or no vote. So Jack or anyone else, do you guys know if you can vote for yourself?
You can.
You can, okay, thank
yes.
you. All right. So, and you can see I don't have a law background or a political background, but more experience working with youth. So I'll ask for guidance along the way as well. So, all right, so roll call. Vote for Alyssa Toppy as Wakefield Youth Council Chair. So Alex, yes or no?
No.
All right, Alyssa. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Good. All right. All right. Lauren. This is for
No.
All right. Megan.
No.
All right. Nick.
No.
Summer.
No.
Uma.
No.
Yana.
No.
Jack.
No.
Maggie.
Yes.
All right. Jenna. We can't hear you, Jenna.
No.
No, okay. And William.
No.
Okay. So, all right. So the next person for nomination is Alex. Alex Skeldon for nomination. I'm going to do a roll call vote again. Alex.
Yes.
All right. Alyssa.
No.
Lauren.
No.
Megan.
No.
Nick.
No.
Summer.
No.
Uma.
No.
Yana.
Yes. I mean, no, sorry, no.
No. Okay. Jack.
No.
Maggie.
No.
Jenna. Sorry, I can't hear you, Jenna.
No.
Okay, no. Okay. And William.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And last up is Jack Dubow. Dubow, is that how I pronounce it?
Dubow.
Dubow. Jack Dubow for Youth Council Chair. Alex.
No.
All right. Alyssa.
No.
Lauren.
Yes.
All right. Megan.
Yes.
All right. Nicholas or Nick.
Yes.
All right. Summer.
Yes.
Uma.
Yes.
All right. Yana.
Yes.
Yana, did you vote? How did you vote for Alyssa?
I said no.
Oh, okay. All right. I was trying to. Okay. Jack.
Yes.
All right. Maggie.
No.
Jenna. Yes. And William.
No.
Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With 8 votes, Jack is now the chair of the Wakefield Youth Council. All right. So now we have to move on to vice chair, which Alyssa and Alex could still be nominated for, and secretary. So at this point, I will turn over the meeting to Jack because you are now the chair. Are you okay with that?
All good with me.
All right, great. And thank you, Alex and Alyssa for being nominated as well, because I think you guys would be great as well. So, all right, I'm gonna just turn it over to Jack.
Awesome. So do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I nominate Alex for vice chair.
Okay.
Do we have a second for that?
I second it.
Awesome. Alex, do you accept?
I do.
Awesome. Do we have any other nominations for vice chair?
Yes, I nominate Uma Gerwick.
Uma. Awesome. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Awesome. Uma, do you accept?
No.
Okay. So do we have any other nominees for vice chair?
May I nominate one more person?
You cannot, but
Okay.
you can tell someone to nominate someone if you want.
I nominate
anyone like-
Alyssa.
Alyssa, Alex.
I second that.
Okay, Anthony seconds that. And Alyssa, do you accept?
Yeah.
Awesome. And any other nominees?
I nominate Lauren.
Yana nominates Lauren. Do you have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Who is that?
I'll second it.
Megan, okay. Lauren, do you accept?
Yes.
Awesome. So do we have any other nominees for vice chair? If not, then nominees for vice chair to
Jack,
close.
I can record votes for you if that's easier.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, because I don't have the list of people.
Yep. So do you want me to do roll call for you when it's
Yes,
time?
please. Yeah, but I have everyone written down for who's second. So. Awesome. So are there any comments? Anyone want to make a comment or why you want vice chair? No one? So, Lauren?
Hi. I feel like I have a lot of leadership experience, and similar to what Alyssa was saying, it's really important to me that everyone's voices are heard. And so I feel like as a vice chair, I can really incorporate that into what youth council is about and what we do.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. Anyone else who would like to speak? Also, Alex? No? Okay. Are there anyone else want to speak on this matter? If not, we will move to a roll call vote. So, Catherine, would you like to call a roll call vote for Alex Skeldon for vice chair?
Okay, so this is a roll call vote for Alex. So Alex, you're first.
Yes.
Yes or no? Okay. Alyssa,
No.
Lauren,
Yes.
that's your vote.
Oh,
for-
wait, no, sorry, no, sorry. I got
Okay.
confused.
Okay. Sorry, all three of you happen to be running. Okay. Megan, this is for a vote for Alex.
No.
Nick,
Yes.
Summer,
No.
Uma,
No.
Yana,
No.
Jack,
No.
Maggie,
No.
Jenna, what did Jenna say?
Didn't hear her. No.
No. And William.
Yes.
All right. That's 3 votes for Alex. Okay.
And then Alyssa is next.
Oh, okay, so now we're voting on Alyssa Toppy for vice chair. Alex,
No.
Alyssa,
Yeah.
Lauren,
No.
Megan,
No.
Nick,
No.
Summer,
No.
Uma,
No.
Yana,
No.
Jack,
No.
Maggie,
Yes.
Jenna.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And William.
No.
Okay. So that's 3 also for Alyssa and
Lauren's last.
Lauren. Okay, so we're voting for Lauren. Do I have to do roll call for everyone, Jack?
Yes. Roll call for every vote.
Okay. Alex,
No.
Alyssa,
No.
Lauren,
Yes.
Megan, where's Megan?
Sorry, y'all just froze. Can you say that again?
This is your vote for Lauren.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Nick,
No.
Summer,
Yes.
Uma,
Yes.
Yana,
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
All right. Maggie?
No.
Jenna?
No.
William?
No.
Okay, so that's 6 votes for Lauren.
Awesome. Well, congrats to Lauren on being elected vice chair. And now we will be moving on to nominations for secretary. So do we have any nominations for secretary? Any nominations?
I nominate Anthony.
Lauren nominates Anthony. Do we have a second for
Second
Anthony?
that.
Okay. That was Yana, right? Yep. And Anthony, do you accept?
I do.
Awesome. Do you have any other nominations for secretary? Any nominations? Okay, if not, then Anthony, if you want to say anything, but you are the sole person.
All I want to say is that I do have a lot of secretarial experience now and in the past. I'm the secretary for the class of 2021, and I also was secretary for the Triumph Honors Music Society, so I do have a lot of experience with a position of this type. And I'm also a drum major of the Wakefield Warrior March Band, so I co-led over 100 people this past fall, and I think I really have a good sense of being able to kind of communicate with people directly, which I feel like is a really good ability for anyone within this council.
Awesome. So as chair, I motion to vote for Anthony via via voice vote. So do I have a second?
I second it.
Awesome. So all in favor of Anthony becoming secretary, say aye.
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 All
Aye.
opposed? Say nay. See none, Anthony is voted secretary. So awesome. Congrats, Anthony. So if you want to take over the minutes, that would be great. And I can text you and my stuff too afterwards. Awesome. So now we will move forward through the
Jack?
Yeah.
Could I just say one thing too?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to thank everyone. I'm going to keep everything on Jack now. I just want to thank everyone for stepping up and offering to take on leadership positions. And I think we'll talk it over with Jack and Lauren, but we're going to have definitely committee chairs and other things to move forward, because we hope to have subcommittees and so there are more opportunities for leadership going forward. Thank you.
So now we will keep going through. So next we have the communication, town department board and committee liaison assignments. So Catherine, do we have like a list of town committees that we can go through?
So yes, we have a list of there's a long list of town committees and boards. Maybe what would work best is if I can send you all a spreadsheet. Some of you have already reached out to me saying that you're interested in certain boards or committees. So for example, I know Jenna's interested in the school committee, and I know Anthony, you were interested in the Wakefield Police Department. Is that you or is that Nick?
I believe in me.
That was me.
Yes.
Oh, that was Nick. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because we have the deputy chief there here today. So I have that sheet going. So what I can do, Jack, is give you the list of boards and committees, and you can email that out to the team. And I've also put together the list of people that have already specifically reached out about boards and committees. So, and then what we can do is I can work to, I can take this off your plate, Jack. I can do introductions for each of you. So Nick, you'll get to meet the deputy chief today. But a lot of you, like I know Uma is interested in the environmental sustainability committee. So I'll do an introduction there. So we can make sure we have a lot of our major committees, town departments covered. So I'll highlight the ones that have availabilities, and I'll link to their website too, so you can read a little bit more about them. But reach out to myself or Jack if you have an interest right away. Does anyone have any questions about that? And we can have multiple people be liaisons to different boards and committees.
Yes, I had a question. When we liaison, do we have to join in on their meetings as well, or are they just joining us?
That's a great question, Emanuela. What it will be, because I know you were interested in two, you were looking at the Housing Authority and also the Human Rights Commission. Probably, you could take a look at both and maybe decide which one. But you would just be, you would ask if you could come to a meeting. They might invite you to the beginning of that meeting and you could learn a little bit, talk about yourself. And then they might reach out to you when there are topics coming up that pertain to youth that they want your feedback with. So you would maintain a communication with the chair or the liaison with that committee. But yeah, no, you don't have to attend all their meetings because some of the committee meetings go really long and late into the evening. And I know you guys have a lot of homework and everything. So, but that's a great question. Any other questions? And same, especially if anyone's doing like school committee or finance committee, those can be often and long. All right, so stay tuned for that communication, and you'll also see a sheet of some of you who've already reached out about that, and I can share that with you in a little bit, but I'll turn it back over to you, Jack.
Awesome, thank you. So now we keep going down the agenda with the communication strategy presentation from Alex Gelden. So Alex, if you can share your screen, or if you're not doing a presentation, so.
Okay. Oh, screen sharing is disabled.
Oh, Catherine, can you, as the host, can you enable him? That'd be great.
So am I just making him a host for the time being?
No, you can, if you go to the security settings, you can allow for participants to screen share.
Okay. All right. So can you, yeah, you should be able to do it now, Alex.
Yep.
And I want to thank Alex for putting together this presentation for you.
Let's see if. All right. Can everyone see that?
Yep, looks great.
All right. This is just a brief overview of Massachusetts open meeting laws. It generally differs state by state, but it is determined by the state government for even like local level and whatnot. Meeting publicity is the first thing. A meeting must have a public notice posted at least 48 hours ahead of time. It's a non-emergency. If there's an emergency, like some sort of like response to some event that has occurred in town, then the notice just should be put up as soon as reasonably possible. The notice must have the date, time, place, and topics that are expected to be discussed, and also cover by topics to be discussed, like also list what the group is so people actually know what they're coming into. Anyone who's watching it is allowed to record it either through audio or video, but you do have to inform the chair first, and whenever a meeting begins, the chair must in turn let the members and in general, all the viewers know that the meeting is being recorded so that it can be accessed in the future. Viewers can only talk if given permission by the chair, and if they interrupt multiple times after being warned, they can be removed from the meeting. There are subcommittee meetings, which is any smaller meeting with more than 2 of the total members, not just like if a member is absent, like it was intentionally created to not include everyone necessarily. It's typically created to get into simultaneously work groups to address different issues, or so that a smaller group of members can look into a topic, maybe hear from somebody, and then advise the larger group on it while the larger group works on something else. They may seem less formal since fewer people, but they still fall under the same regulations of notices, minutes, recordings, and whatnot. Meeting minutes, which is written info about all meetings, in addition to any possible recordings that might be going around. These have to include the date, time, place, members present, all of that, and also include the actual info of what was discussed at the meeting and what decisions were taken. Open session votes cannot be by secret ballot, so those must also be recorded in the minutes. Those are just any vote. Here we have the roll call vote, which we just did, where chair calls out each member, typically alphabetically, and then their vote is recorded. And minutes must be accessible by anyone upon request within 10 days. And this is the website for Mass rules. You can go there if you want any further info. And that is all.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex, for that. So, just like link on share your screen. Awesome. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate that. So does everyone understand? Do you have any questions for Alex about the laws or anything? No? Okay, awesome. And then we can continue going on the agenda. So next we have the presentation from the Wakefield Police Department. And I'm so happy to introduce the Deputy Police Chief. So,
hey everybody, can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
All right, great. Thanks for inviting me. I think one of the topics that it seemed some people were interested in was the renovation that we're talking, addition that we're talking about for the public safety building. That'll be on the agenda for this coming town meeting. So thank you for the opportunity to present here. And also this is seems like a great committee that you put together here. Catherine is a good friend, and you're in good hands with that one. So I'm going to go through, I'll see if I can share this. I'll go through some slides that we have, just so you guys will have a better understanding of what this is about. Can you see that? Everyone good?
Yes, you can see it.
All right. So basically what we're looking at, if you look at that, the top picture there, that's the building in 1950. It was about 9,400 square feet, about 34 offices, 1 civilian staff, and we were averaging about 4,000 calls for service at that time. And you fast forward here, 2020, this is what our building is now. And it's about 10,000 square feet. We have 47 full-time, some support staff, additional, we have clinician, we have recovery coach. That Respond Advocate is for domestic violence support. And 2 parking enforcement officers. We're up to about 19,000 calls for service. So it just gives you a quick visual of, the building really hasn't changed too much. I don't know why it's not letting me.
Yep.
So, good now? All right.
Yeah,
so,
you're on the public safety renovation.
Yeah, okay. So, this is a 70-year-old, our building's a 70-year-old building. We had a renovation back in 2003, which really was, if you look at the right side of the building, that's the fire department. That was a brand new structure that was built for them in 2003. They needed that. And our side really didn't change much. Tough to tell, but the pictures down the bottom kind of, if you see that their side kind of goes all the way out to the sidewalk, where ours just, they left a lot of empty space in the front with the grass there. And that was space that we really could have used back then. So the renovation, it didn't really result in much critical space for us. We got a little bit of an addition on the back, but it didn't really add to our operational space. Space was mainly used for 911 room, electrical room, boiler room, generator room, IT room. And as you can see, they're not in very good shape. And what's important is all those rooms support both sides of the building. So they're not just for us. These rooms that were added to our side of the building also support the fire department. So all this critical infrastructure type of stuff ended up on our side. So this is just some of the independent study that was done in 2017. Clearly, we're undersized. The front lobby is not great. If you've ever been to the building, it's not the most inviting. We have a records staff that's down in the front Monday through Friday during the daytime, but then all other hours there's no one down there. We just don't have the setup for that. The dispatch, which is 24/7, is on the second floor. Most police departments, that's in the entry with the records department. So again, you have to pick up a phone, and it's just not the best setup. So anyway, it's just not the best practices here. And this just gives you a little bit of visual. You walk in the department, there's kind of signs directing people everywhere. You know, if no one's in that police records window, it's not conducive to what the citizens want, and what we'd like. Again, that's the phone that they have to use when they walk in during off hours. This is our first level. So some of these rooms, these couple of rooms downstairs that are like closets that we had to turn into offices. Over there on the right's like a small water room off the garage, and that's our canine. We don't have a canine right now, but we've had one for many years, and I'm sure we'll have one again. And that's where their storage is on the left there. That's just because we're out of space here. Kind of the same thing. This just kind of shows you that this kind of stuff in bicycles and hallways, and that cage area there that you see, it's in the garage, which is everything in there just gets filthy. So it's not really usable space. We've had some water leaks down that bottom right there. Prisoner bay is too small. This is kind of, if you look at that the top picture there, that's our van, prisoner van that we use a lot. And if you open that, if you see those back doors open to take a prisoner out, but you can't open the doors if there's not enough room. So you have to leave the garage door open, which that's not the best safety, leaving the door open where someone could kind of run out. So we're trying to, one of the small things will be to bump that out just to give us a little bit more working space in there. That's just, they put some support columns in there. It's not great. So some of the highlights here, this is just a sketch, but you can see that now that they'll basically put an addition on the left side, just going out the front there to the sidewalk. So it's just going to mirror the fire department side. That's really all we're looking to do. And if they had done that back in during the renovation, we probably wouldn't be here today looking for more. It's always tough when you have something that's, say, 15 years old and you're asking for more money, and people think that, well, you just got a new building, but we really didn't. Our side was just renovated, and that's what we're trying to get the message across. So in the new building, we'd move the dispatch. We'd also move the dispatch downstairs, so citizens would be able to walk in and have a face-to-face conversation, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. This probably won't mean much to you. It's just some of the layouts of what the first few floors will look like. But and there'll be some system upgrades and things like that. So I've gone over a lot of that stuff there. So basically right now we have about 10,000 square feet of operational space, and this is going to give us about 4,000 more. So it's about a 40% increase. It's just over $9 million for the total cost, and it just keeps going up each year. So we're hoping to try to get it done this time. We took a shot a few years ago and didn't pass the town meeting, and then they went to a town vote, and we lost by a few votes. So I'm trying to take another run at it. Again, that's the 40% increase to give us opportunity to grow. This was something from, we took out of the 1949 annual town report. This is when they were originally constructing the police department here. And it says it was eventually built in 1950, but the police said this building should be large enough to house the department for the next 20 or 25 years. So that was back in 1950, and we're pretty much at the same size we were, you know, back then. So that's what we're looking to do. And yeah, I won't get into the finances, but it goes into debt services funds and all that. The bottom line is it won't increase anyone's taxes. So if your parents are asking, the taxes won't go up. They have the town has different accounts. I'm not an accountant, but they have a debt services account that they'll fund this out of. That those are things that they've paid for other things like upgrades to the senior center, upgrades to Dalby School, Woodville School in the past. So that's what they're going to use the money for this for. So I tried to move through that pretty quick because I don't want to bore you. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Try to get out of screen share here. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on.
All right. Well, Jack, do you mind if I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. This is great because this is actually one of, I think it was Megan or maybe Nick that asked to learn a little bit more about the public safety building vote. So we can, I'm just going to take this. How do we stop sharing? Oh, there we go.
All right. Sorry about that.
So they asked to learn a little bit more about this project. So I really appreciate you because I know our chief and deputy chief are really busy these days. So I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to come in. Did anyone have any questions about the building or this project?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay. I did want to say one other thing because I know and many of you know that I work for the town, so I actually have the great fortune of working with our police department. And a lot of us right now are hearing a lot about the police in the news and everything. And one of the things that I wanted to point out that the deputy chief talked about a bit in the presentation is that our police department is definitely one of the more robust police departments in actually in Massachusetts. We really do have a lot of the staffing which is why the building needs to be expanded, or why the proposed for the building need to be expanded, because we have social workers on staff, we have recovery coaches, we have domestic violence advocates. So we have all these people that help our police department, our police officers really do the great community policing work that a lot of communities are pushing for nowadays. And we're fortunate that we have that already in our police department. So if you have any questions for our deputy chief around that, feel free to ask. But I just wanted to point that out because we really are lucky.
Yeah, I actually have a question for police deputy. So if the town does vote to expand the public safety building, would you be hiring more like social workers, or would you be hiring more officers? Because I think the movement around the Black Lives Matter movement and the defund the police movement is to hire more social workers and hire people who can go in without a weapon to situations to help people instead of threatening. So would you be hiring more social workers or more officers?
So that's a very good question. So right now, like I said, we have one clinician on staff. She's part-time, and we're actually looking to extend her to a full-time status. We have, like we said, a recovery coach and domestic violence coach. I do see the need for that to expand as time goes on. Again, it's a budget item. So right now we're just trying to get that clinician from a part-time status to a full-time status, which I think we're getting close to. But I think as time goes on, I do see those roles expanding. And I also see something that we probably didn't think about now that we'll need later, you know, like maybe something that's, instead of having 2 clinicians, we might need something for another area that needs aren't being met. But I think that we'd love to have more officers too, because we're doing 19,000 calls a year with the same amount of people that we've had for a long time. But I know that with everything that's going on, the movement is to, you know, kind of get away from that and fill that with other roles. So I would say that luckily we've already filled a few of those roles where other police departments haven't. They're some of the most important, critical people in our police station. I can't imagine working without them. They're just amazing, amazing people. And I'd love to have more. So to answer your question, hopefully have more support staff. I'd like to have more officers because we're dealing with a lot of calls with, again, with the kind of the same amount of people. But for next year's budget, there's no additional officers and there's a request for some extra time for our clinician, to answer your question.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any questions? No, I don't see any questions. So thank you.
Deputy Chief, would you mind talking a little bit about how you train the officers and some of the crisis intervention training that they receive?
Sure. So this goes back several years, but mental health calls have become a very busy and important area that we deal with. That's been evolving year after year. So several years ago, we saw this need to have officers better trained in that area. So if you hear crisis intervention teams, it's a pretty popular term. It started in Memphis, Tennessee, many years ago. We were one of the first departments in the state to get a crisis intervention team on board. You basically train 20 to 25% of your department to handle high-level mental health cases. So we got that up and running back in 2012. So we have over 25% of our department trained in that now, and that's a 40-hour course where they go through all different types, you know, from schizophrenia to just, you know, to anxiety to mood disorders, all different kinds of things. And they're just better equipped to handle that. And then all of our officers have had mental health first aid training, which is an 8-hour training to help in that area. And those officers work very closely with our clinician, and they have a great relationship. And then what we were finding was that substance use obviously was becoming a huge issue as years went on, and with the opioid crisis. And then some of those individuals had both mental health and substance use problems. So our officers work with our clinician, who also works with our recovery coach, to try to get the best help to those people. So we're not just, you know, like 15 years ago, we would just kind of go to a call and that was kind of the end of it, maybe do a quick follow-up. And we just didn't have the levels and layers of help to provide support. And we do so much follow-up here now. We've really come a long way. I'm really proud of, you know, there's just there's a high level of care here. People they care, they're compassionate, and that's across the board for everyone. It's something we're proud of, but we want you to be proud of us. And I think that's really key. And that's why I'm happy to be speaking to you now. I want you to look at our police department and be proud. And there's always a way to do that better, but we're always trying.
I actually have another question. So are your officers trained in de-escalation? Like, or do they get de-escalation training while they're...
So that was something that was in course. So we have to do, we have to go to in-service training every year. Every officer has to do 40 hours of just annual training. It's broken up into different topics. There's, you know, medical, you know, we have to get trained in our CPR first responder every year. We have legal updates, and we also have defensive tactics training. And within the defensive tactics training, there's also de-escalation training. And that goes back several years. So we're getting that every year now, all of the officers. And I think you find that our officers are just incredible at it. If you saw some of the calls that they have to go on and how they end up coming out of those with no injury to the person that they're dealing with and also to themselves, it's incredible. It really is.
Great. So does anyone else have any questions for Deputy Chief? Well, awesome. So thank you so much for talking to us. Really appreciate it, answering my questions.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me, and you know, we're happy to be here. We're here for you, and again, we want you to be proud of us. So we appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. Take care.
So now we'll move to the last thing in our agenda, which is determining the next meeting date. So Catherine, do we have like a schedule of when we're doing it, like every few weeks, or do you feel like for like Wednesdays, or like do you have any like preferred things?
It's open for discussion, Jack.
Okay, so does anyone have anything discussed about this? Do you prefer like every 2 weeks, every other week, once a month? What day, time, anything?
I mean, this is just my personal opinion, but I think 2 weeks works pretty well. Okay. It's a good medium between like 1 week and a whole month.
Okay, so every 2 weeks. Manuel, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I second that, because I feel like as we're starting this right now, it's good to do some 2 weeks. Maybe as we start to meet in person, maybe once a month is like the move, but at this moment, 2 weeks is the best one.
So if we're going to do 2 weeks from today, our next meeting will be on July 1st. That'll be in 2 weeks on next Wednesday. Does that work for everyone at the same time? Same time, 4 on July 1st? Do we all agree? Yeah, sorry. You go.
Can I just double check that, because I think I might have something that day.
Yes. If you want to double check right now, that'd be great. Does anyone else have? Did you want to know if anyone has conflict? Everyone look at their calendar real quick. That'd be great.
I do not have anything that day.
Awesome. So I motion that we set our next meeting date to Wednesday, June 1st at 4 p.m. If I hear a second.
July 1st? I second that.
Yeah, July 1st, I guess.
I second that.
Awesome. Do we? We'll do a motion. Do a motion. Vote by roll. Vote by voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. This passes unanimously. And so, Anthony, did you get the second on that? Okay, awesome. And then, if there's no other business, I motion to adjourn the meeting for until.
Oh, could I bring up something?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm just wondering, I think it would be nice for the community of Wakefield to know that you guys are meeting and that what happened at your first couple of meetings. So I was just wondering what you thought about one of you writing a press release about, and the fact that we have a chair now and the different roles, and that you heard from the police department today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, was there ambition to bring that for the daily item? Because I can also, we can do like a co-write, like I can help write and someone else can help write if you want to. What do you think? Anyone?
Does anyone like writing press releases? I can definitely help or send you a template. But.
I can write it. I can help.
Awesome, Manuela, if you help write press release, that'd be awesome.
Okay, so we'll be in touch, Emanuela, Jack and I.
Awesome. So now that we have, there's no other business, I motion to adjourn.
Oh wait,
oh,
sorry. Sorry, Jack, and one more thing. Since it's 2 weeks from now, as I'm taking my step back, but one of the things I can do for you is invite committees or topics of interest to come and present to you. So I believe Nick and Megan brought up the idea of hearing about the public safety building and from the police. Is there another topic that would be of interest to you to hear from a town official or a committee member or the staffs of anything, or from a department? I mean, you could hear what the health department's doing around COVID. You could hear about the Downtown Envision Wakefield project. There are lots of different topics you could hear about.
Would it actually
I was
possible-
thinking, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can go, Yana.
Thanks. I was just thinking about the school committee and how they're gonna like deal with COVID, like in the school year.
I think we're just wondering if we can hear maybe from the superintendent as well, or like just do one of those to see how they thought distance learning went this year and how we might be able to prove it next year, like how they're going to like integrate the school system, like how we're going to do it, like hybrid or whatever.
I wanted to talk to the WGML or the Wakefield Light Department because I want to see how they're like handling like the power outages and like the internet problems with COVID-19 because I feel like that's just like something interesting.
I also have one, like the homelessness in Wakefield. So I'd like to know about how people, like probably the Wakefield Housing Authority focuses on them, like how they focus on housing for them and getting them food and shelter and getting them resources, especially because of COVID. It's even worse now for them. So just want to focus on that.
Emanuela, it's too bad because we actually could have talked to the deputy chief about that because when he said they handle a lot of that stuff, actually that's the homeless population is something that they're dealing with all the time. But we can make sure we can get someone to come in and talk about the homeless population. But I know for a fact that that's something that we've been working on. Some of the folks I work with at the police station, getting people housing during COVID. But we've got some great people in town working on that, and that's definitely a good topic.
I'm sorry, I was also just wondering if we could possibly talk to kind of the health committee and seeing our public health department just to see how they're addressing the situation with the pandemic as a whole on the basis of the town outside of just the school.
Great. You guys, these are great topics. So I don't know how you want to proceed, Jack.
Yeah, so if you wrote down things, so we could like read a list off and we can see like if we could do like a little voice vote or whatever, but like what people want to hear next would be cool.
Okay, so did you take notes?
Okay, Anthony, do you want to read this off so we can do like a voice vote and see like what people think? You're muted.
I'm sorry, my bad. So we have Yana Herzog's proposal to speak with the school committee on their response to COVID-19.
Mm-hmm. So does anyone want to hear that? Just like yes or something.
I do, yeah.
Okay. Anyone else want to hear about that?
I second it.
Okay,
I second it.
So
I second it.
So we have a few people. So just like everyone say aye, say aye. Everyone has to hear from the school committee. Say aye.
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 All's opposed. Okay, awesome. So it seems like unanimously we did vote for the school committee. So we could definitely put that on for next meeting on July 1st. That would be great. If not, do you guys want to do a backup just in case we can't get the school committee? So Anthony, do you have another one you can list off? You're muted again.
I'm switching between the minutes and here.
Okay.
We have Emmanuel's proposal to speak with, I believe it was the Housing Committee on Homelessness, or as previously mentioned, the Public Safety Department.
So do we hear a motion to hear from the the Public Place Department or the Housing Authority?
Yeah, I would.
Okay,
I second it.
Second, okay. And
I second it.
All's in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Say nay. That passed unanimously. So if we can so we have the school committee as our number one, but if we can't get them, the backup would be the Housing Authority or the Public Safety Department. Okay, awesome. So do we any other business? No. Okay, great. So I motion to adjourn the youth council till Wednesday, July 1st at 4 p.m. All's in favor?
We have to take a roll call.
Okay. So Catherine, can you read the roll call vote?
Sure. So we're voting to adjourn, correct?
Yes, voting to adjourn till Wednesday, July 1st.
All right. Alex.
Aye.
Alyssa.
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Summer,
Yes.
Uma,
Yes.
Yana,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Maggie,
Yes.
Jenna,
Yes.
and William.
Yes.
Awesome. So that passed unanimously. So we are adjourned until Wednesday, July 1st at 4 p.m.
All right, and then we could, I think I know we're adjourned, but at future meetings, we can figure out how to get more ways for the non-voting member to get to contribute.
Definitely.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have
Thank
a
you.
good
Have a nice day.
one. We'll see you in 2 weeks.